A review of Lifeline ferry services is underway and the government is looking for feedback from the public and with Infrastructure Minister Phil Gawne. Now, what you're not looking for, I understand, is comments about the steam packet company itself. What are you looking for from people?
Well, specifically, we want to know what people's experiences are in terms of travelling, but also we want to know what they actually want from travelling to and from the island. So are they content with the existing routes? Do they want more routes? Do they want fewer routes? Would price be more important than having more routes? So there's a range of different questions like that. We're interested as well in listening to both domestic and commercial passengers, because quite clearly the commercial price is quite influential in terms of the Manx economy. So it's really starting with a blank sheet of paper. If you were to redesign the sea services to and from the Isle of Man, what would they look like? That's what we're asking the public.
Now this is because the user agreement is coming to an end, isn't it? And that guaranteed a minimum standard of services. What are the three options now? Well,
yes, when we say coming to an end, it could continue yet till 2026, so there is still quite a lot of time available there. As I said in Tynwald back in July, there are three options. So those three options include either we allow the existing agreement to run to its natural conclusion, which would mean in round about 2022 we would go out to a tendering exercise to see which company would be the best to run our sea services. A second, but perhaps unlikely option, is that the steam packet would say to us, OK, we don't like the uncertainty, we want to end the current user agreement and go out to the market right away. I don't think that's very likely, because they've still potentially got 10 years to go. And then the third option is the steam packet makes government some kind of offer which is so attractive that government and indeed Tynwald are persuaded that this is in the best interest of the Isle of Man and the Manx people, and we will then accept that offer and potentially extend the user agreement. So those are the three options that we're looking at, and clearly the views of the public are going to be quite influential in terms of what we eventually decide.
And there are no other options? You wouldn't nationalise it?
Well, anything is possible, but at the moment there's no particular talk of that. I know that it's been looked at in the past whether we should invest in the company to a certain extent, but certainly at the moment there's no particular talk of that. So.
Now, in terms of tendering, you've tested the water, so to speak. What level of interest have you had?
Yeah, there was a good level of interest. There were 5 companies in the end that expressed interest or responded to our prior information notification. I've got to be careful about the words, because expressing an interest is something more advanced than just responding to a prior information notification. So all we've done really is we've gone out there and said, if we did go out for expressions of interest, would you be interested? So we've had 5 companies now have come back and given quite detailed responses as to what they would and wouldn't be interested in doing in the future. Now, whether any of those 5 would actually tender in the future, I suspect one would. There's one Isle of Man steam packet. Whether the other 4 would, I'm not so sure, but at least we know that there are people out there who've said that we are genuinely interested in looking at this if and when it came up.
OK. Now, I understand that the agreement for the use of the landing stage at Liverpool expires next year. How are you looking at that?
Yes, there's been quite extensive discussions taking place about that. I know the steam packet have been involved in some discussions, but also government having direct discussions with the owners of the port in Liverpool, which is Peel Ports. So we're looking at the moment at a potential of of a new area, a new berth for the Isle of Man steam packet, or whoever is the successful tenderer in the future. And that's, those discussions are progressing reasonably well. They're still very much in the early stages, though, so we'll just have to see how those develop.
And I mean, there's no question, is there, that we might lose that? That would be a huge blow, wouldn't it, for the island?
Yeah, it would be a significant blow, and there is no suggestion at the moment that that's likely to happen. This is there are quite a lot of quite important decisions that we need to take in the fairly near future in relation to our sea services, the steam packet, user agreement, various other things, the berth at Pierhead. So lots of big decisions to take. So again, as part of the announcements that we're making over the course of the next few days, we're also establishing a working group in the department of Tynwald members, so that I can, as Minister, not just get the ministerial and governmental perspective, but we'll also get a parliamentary feel for this as well. So there'll be a working group working with me, acting as a kind of a sounding board to see whether some of the ideas that are coming forward, whether they're good ideas, whether they're crazy ideas, whether there's an opportunity to sort of modify them to make them into good ideas.